Yes, guys, and welcome to the Crystal Palace vs Sunderland match review. Now, I've just about stopped sweating because that last 15 minutes, 10 minutes or so was absolutely nerve-wracking to watch. It was awful. However, I did say before the game, I would 1,000% take a point on the road against this Crystal Palace side, and we've managed to do it. We've dug deep. We've done really well to get the point, particularly the last end of the game, as I did allude to. We really had to defend for our lives, and this point would never have happened if it wasn't for Robin Roofs. That man had an absolute blinder, a world-class performance, and a good 3 or 4 world-class saves in that game as well. And that's not to say that Palace dominated the game, because I don't think that they did. For the last 10-15 minutes, hands up, they did. They were throwing everything at us, absolute pelters at us. However, I did think we were probably worthy of the point over the course of the entirety of the game. But before I do get into it, if you're happy with the point, 7 points from the opening 4, the big 6 are ruining the game. Sunderland currently sat in 6th. The big 6 are ruining the game. If you're buzzing as a Sunderland fan, hit the like button for me several times. And subscribe if you're new. We're about 20 odd subscribers away from 18,000. And what a lovely day. What a lovely rainy, dark, overcast day it would be to hit 18,000 subs. That'd be incredible, guys. But yeah, so getting into it, as you can see here in the lineup, we did have Roofs in goal, Hume, Mukiele, Alderete and Ronaldo across the back. We had Jacques, Siddiqui and Diarra in the middle, with Teleby on one side, Adingra on the left and Isidore up top. I was screaming out for Isidore to start, and he absolutely deserved to, so he did start. However, it was announced pre-match that Enzo has picked up a knock in training. Hopefully it isn't anything too serious, and we definitely missed his creativity at times today. But getting into the game, I felt like from the off that we probably just about the better side, not by a country mile, don't get me wrong. It was very clearly 2 sides that are generally a lot more comfortable playing as the counter-attacking side, so no one really wanted it as such, and it was almost like it was a cat and mouse, sort of situation. Where they're trying to figure each other out, very cautious. They don't want to show the hand too early doors. Do you know what I mean? So it wasn't a pretty game for the neutral. It was never going to be that way, because both teams, as I say, they do like to play counter-attacking football. But I felt like in that first half, we had a lot more of the ball, which again, we don't usually like to have. We like to play on the break. But we looked really decent with it, very comfortable. I felt like throughout the afternoon anyway, I think Alderete and Mukiele did an absolutely phenomenal job on Mateta, who is a big physical presence. And every time we tried to hold up the ball, either Mukiele or Alderete were forcing the way in front of him, hitting him hard and letting him know that they're there. And they did a really, really good job on him in one of the better sides, or one of the better strikers in the league, should I say. I think they did very, very well. We made a handful of chances in that first half, albeit half chances. I think there was one point where Diarra was put in through down the right-hand side. He puts it across goal and it just misses Isidore, and Henderson comes to claim. Another one where we managed to find Siddiqui in behind on the left-hand side. It's a tight angle. He's lashed it a little bit and it's gone high and wide. But we're there, you know what I mean? We were the chances were there, the half chances were there. We were creating things, which is what I like to see. We weren't just simply sitting back and playing for the point. We were very, very clearly going for the win. It's just that back 3 of Palace, it's so solid. Of course, with Gay in there as well. Like I've said in the previous video, in the preview to the game, one of the best defenders in the league. But we was really struggling to find his story. He was trying to fashion sort of awkward height crosses to try and fashion a sort of like bicycle kick and stuff like that. We're really sort of clinging on for half chances, but at the same time limiting them to very, very little. But they did make a really good couple of chances in that first half. That's not to say we limited them to absolutely nothing. We did have like a little 5-minute phase where I felt Alderete, for me, although I think on the whole, the defensively and the squad and the team as a whole played very, very well and worked their arse off, and they were very structured, and they were so well organised across the back in particular. There was a 5-minute phase where I thought Alderete positionally was a little bit all over the place. Didn't know whether he was coming or going. The forward for Palace, he's driving forward at Alderete, and I'm screaming for Alderete to just come forward, at least make it hard for him to, or close the gap for the opportunity for him to shoot. And he's kind of opened up and he's backed off and he's just allowing him all the space in the world, and he's drilled it hard and low, and it's gone wide. and then not too long later they managed to just slip it straight through the middle of the defence. Great opportunity for Palace, 1-on-1 with the keeper, and he slipped it wide of goal. But then Adingra was coming into it more and more and more, really getting at them, and there was a chance where he has drove down the left-hand side, took on a couple of players, he's floated it towards the back post. To be fair to Talbot, I don't think he was expected to go through to him, or at least come all the way through to him at the back post, sort of 6 yards out or so. But instead of just trying to predict it, try to see it come and just have a lash at it first time, which is what he should have done, he's taken a touch, it's sort of bobbling, then he's had to fashion a sort of half volley 6 yards out, and it's taken an age to come down for him, and he's absolutely smashed the ball. It's a great block for Palace, to be fair, by the defender, but we were really going for it. So the first half finishes there, and I thought there was worthy of at least a point at that time in the game. But then the second half came out, and I was saying online, saying on social media that the game is going to open up, and my God, it did. And I think in that second half, for a large portion of it, we had a lot of the ball. The only time they really managed to break forward was if we made a quick slip or a mistake, because it was pissing it down at Palace today. It'd be a little mistake, or if they managed to do a nice little triangle in the middle, so they got in behind the likes of Siddiqui and Diarra and Jacques in the middle, and they managed to fashion a half chance. Other than that, we were just dominating without testing the keeper anywhere near enough. Just half chances here and there, loads of nearly sort of moments, but nothing quite coming to fruition. Then we did see the introduction, the debut of Brian Brobby. He come on as well. He went up top. He brought Adingra off, which I thought, what are you doing? I thought, out of the two wingers, Talby didn't really show much for me at all. Adingra was growing into the game as it was going on, and he was becoming more and more dangerous. He was getting at that right back time and time again, and he had his life at times. He was doing really, really well, but then he brought him off, and I thought, what's he doing here? But I understand that he's pushing Eastor onto the left-hand side, bringing Brobby on to stick him up top. But then I just thought, why wouldn't you just put Adingra on the right-hand side and hook Talby? Not saying that Talby was really bad or anything like that, but just meant out the two wings, I felt like Adingra just looked infinitely more dangerous. And Talby, for me, he actually defensively worked very, very well. But going forward again, and I keep repeating myself with Talby, I'm screaming at him to just get at the left back, and he's just playing it too simple, or when he's got a couple of options on, either someone making an overlapping run or there's someone a bit further ahead, he'll put his foot on the ball and he'll pass it backwards. There's one time where we're breaking, it was almost sort of like 3-on-2, and he's put his foot on the ball and he's passed it back to Jacques when he's several yards behind and he's under pressure, and it put us under pressure and completely eradicated the attack. So little things like that were really, really frustrating. But then we do get towards the back end of the game, the last 15 minutes, where you can see we've just worked our arse off. We've blown a bit of a gasket, really. And he did bring on Geertruida. And I thought he was going to put him at centre-back and go 5 at the back, because he was starting to just pump ball after ball, cross after cross into the box. But he actually put him in the middle. He had a couple of nice touches here and there, but there really wasn't an opportunity for anyone to do anything in the last sort of 10 minutes or so, putting so many crosses in the box. And Robin Roos with some saves. I've missed out quite a few of them, by the way, but one of them hit hard and low across the soaking wet surface. He's got there to the bottom corner, tips it around the post. Another one where I think they did find Mateta. He's made himself big. It's a class save. And then he's made a double save later on in the box. There was a couple of penalty shouts that for Palace that didn't go their way, thankfully for us. There was one that I think it was the new lad, Uche, for Palace, gets at the back post and a sort of half volley, similar sort of situation to Talby early on in the game for us, and he's hit it really well. It's been blocked, it's been saved, but Isidore, who was pressing the man, he's left a foot dangling, and Uche's gone down as if he's been shot by a sniper. But on the replay, it did look like Eastor had caught him, but the VAR waved it away, thankfully for us. And then as we pumped the ball away for the last sort of kick of the game, there was another shout in the penalty box for a bit of a shove. But thankfully, again, the referee was just waiting to blow full time, but we was waiting for this VAR check. And honestly, I could have been sick. Just before recording, I was honestly so close to vomiting. But it was waved away. But that's it. We got ourselves a point. Robin Roos, an absolute masterclass, claiming the ball in the windy conditions. It's pissing it down. It's judging the flights of the ball really well. Some outstanding saves. And for everyone else as well, the back four were phenomenal at times. Against teams like Palace. And we're going to come up against even better teams as well, of course. But they're going to struggle at times. They're going to, teams of this ilk in the Premier League, they're going to fashion chances. They're going to get at you. They're going to make you work. So it's not always going to be perfect. But largely today, they were outstanding. All of them, they were across the back anyway. Absolutely outstanding. So, I'm buzzing with that 0-0. I said I'd take a point in the road. I didn't want us to just rely solely on the Stadium of Light home games, which I think is probably going to be the deciding factor this season anyway, at the Stadium of Light. But away from home, we need to be picking up points, and Selhurst Park is not an easy place to go. Fair play to them. Like I said, last 15 minutes or so, we couldn't get out of our box at all, but we defended for our lives. We defended like warriors, and we've got a point, and I'm buzzing with it. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Robin Roof's my man of the match. I will take that every day of the week. Let me know down below how you feel about the game. Are you happy with that? I certainly am. I can't imagine any Sunderland fan around the globe not being happy with that point. But if you're new as well, subscribe. But for now, however, lads, we're in the top 6 for now. Keep the faith.